think is going on with Israel?
Well, Israel actually is a very interesting situation in that it is both the best of science and the worst of times. And what I mean by that is they only have a segment of their population vaccinated. They have a relatively high percentage not vaccinated.
Well, I thought they were one of the most vaccinated countries in the
Well,
world.
they are among the vaccinated. That's the whole point. They are actually where they're now doing fourth doses among many people. But if you look at the recent big uptick in cases they had, it was almost all in unvaccinated people.
That's not what I read.
Oh,
I
it
read
is,
this
it is.
whole thing about vaccinated people in Israel, like that there was a giant surge of vaccinated people.
No, the surge
catching
is
COVID.
primarily in I don't have the numbers in front of me, but the surge is primarily in unvaccinated people. There surely was an increase in cases in vaccinated people who had 3 doses. That's why they went to 4 doses for older populations, etc. But the real burden, the major thrust in this surge in Israel was, in fact, unvaccinated people.
That's confusing to me because I'm almost positive that I read something that was talking about the confusion that they're having because of the amount of vaccinated people that have been infected with COVID, and that it's a giant percentage of the cases. I didn't read anything about it being primarily unvaccinated people.
I just did that.
Can we see if we can find something on that?
Yeah, go ahead. I just
Because
did that
that's
in my own
fascinating.
podcast, by the way. Okay, I just did I covered that about 2 weeks ago, and I actually had the numbers in front of me, and actually went through what percentage were unvaccinated, what percentage were vaccinated. Clearly, the vaccinated did see increased numbers of cases, but the surge was really covered by the unvaccinated.
So there's an enormous surge, but it's because of unvaccinated people.
Yes. We can look it up.
See, that is so confusing to me because I was almost positive that I had read that an enormous percentage, like a very high percentage of the people that were new cases that were infected with COVID were vaccinated.
They were increased. But again, the big surge itself, and particularly in hospitalizations and deaths, were in unvaccinated people. We can get it here looked up here.
Yeah, we're going to find it. See whatever you can find, Jamie. You got anything?
Sorta.
Sorta?
I mean, I think it gets. Here's the first thing I found, which I don't know, like the efficacy of this.
Analysis of COVID vaccine breakthrough infections in highly vaccinated Israel. Okay, a recent study published in, what does that say? MedRxiv. Preprint server. Researchers evaluated model age structured cases of severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2, vaccination coverage and breakthrough infections. To do this, the researchers data Ministry of Health.
So I don't know if this
is an older piece. Yeah,
Bro, like, this is the guy. Like, the guy you're talking to is the guy. He is the COVID guy. You know he is the COVID guy because you've had him on your broadcast as the COVID guy. Okay? So how are you going to fucking turn around and then be like, the COVID guy that I had is fucking saying that the COVID guy that I'm having on the broadcast specifically to talk about COVID is telling me that the Facebook posts I read about COVID is wrong. Pull that shit up, Jamie. Like, this motherfucker didn't have a peep to say when he had on those other psychos, okay? Those actual psychos. It's just really fucking biased, dude. It is. It's just straight up biased. How are you gonna pull that shit up, Jamie? Fucking Michael Osterholm, dude. How are you gonna pull that shit up, Jamie? Michael fucking Osterholm.
This doesn't give it to you. This is
January 13th.
Yeah, but I mean, it's in terms of the Omicron surge, there's more data that's come out on that issue.
Right, but this is only a month old.
Yeah, I know, but if you look here,
I guess Google then.
Unfortunately, my research assistant's outside the door. He actually has the papers in hand. So,
well, let's see what we can
we'll
find
get you.
under
We'll
anyway.
get you the data and show you that. Okay.
Dude, think about how seriously they're taking this shit, by the way. Like, dude. He literally has like research ready to fucking go. That's wild. Like the American government, this is the American government taking Joe Rogan, podcaster extraordinaire, seriously. So seriously that they're like ready to go. Ready at the fucking helm with research that they've brought over. With research they brought over specifically so they can convince Joe Rogan. Like, that's what's necessary at this point to deal with this misinformation. How crazy? How crazy is that? Do you think he knew who he was bringing on? Yeah, of course he knows. Okay. I've been very fucking fair to Joe Rogan, unlike all of my haters who are never charitable to me. I've been so goddamn charitable to Joe Rogan, even throughout this entire fucking process. Okay? The thing is, he had Michael Osterholm on way before anyone else did. Motherfuckers think I'm too charitable to Joe Rogan. But he had Michael Osterholm on way before anyone else. Like, in the beginning of COVID. He had him on, so of course he knows Michael Osterholm is one of the main people. Not only that, but then like not only that, but also he had. He agreed with him. Oh, my brain is like not functioning anymore. This is staged to retroactively make it look good for converting some hogs.
And that you can take a look at that. That's an old one.
Okay.
You got to have
what's in
late
that first,
January.
Let's go to that January one and see what it says, though.
Okay, but even if that's like wrong, this dude is my favorite, to be honest. It's disheartening to see your nipple boy site Facebook memes over his COVID expert, but Osterholm's at least willing to fucking call out nipple boy branded bullshit. No, I think he did a really good job on this podcast from what we saw. We're going to watch that.
It is an analysis, and we only looked at the top. About the study.
Yeah.
The following data sources received, March 21st to November.
Also, Joe Rogan is not nipple boy, okay? He's nipple man.
November 6, 2021. Proportions of the various types of variants and concerns were also confirmed throughout the course of the study. The vaccinated class divided into 5 stages to mimic the diminishing of immunity.
See, these are all vaccinated people.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the unvaccinated. So you have what we're looking for are data that will actually talk about the number of unvaccinated. So what this study is doing is an important study. What it's looking at is among the vaccinated who had breakthroughs.
Right.
Okay.
So maybe we can Google what percentage of people that have COVID in Israel are vaccinated.
COVID and Omicron.
Okay. So Omicron, which is how much more infectious is Omicron than the Alpha variant or the Delta variant?
Well,
for the record, the breakthrough cases have actually increased, or the breakthrough percentages increased with Omicron, and not only that, but also the hospitalizations. I believe the percentage of hospitalizations increased with Omicron as well. I think part of it is probably because the efficacy of the vaccines are diminishing. Like, a lot of time has passed since they took the double shots. So that's the reason why you are now seeing a larger percentage of people who did not get boosted. A larger percentage of people who did not get boosted actually end up in the hospital, especially if they're like older. So there is that problem.
it's estimated to be at least 2 to 3 times more infectious than Delta, and Delta was 2 to 3 times more infectious than Alpha.
I had heard it was way more infectious than that.
Yeah, that's roughly what we've got.
Just guesswork?
Well, 2 to 3 is a lot.
How do they guess that? Is it dependent on? It's a scale based on, say, if you're infected, how many people you'll infect?
Yeah, how many? Look at households and direct contacts that look at that, and that's really the primary way to get it.
There's not a way you can look at the actual virus itself and say, oh, this is measurably more infectious. So it's basically in how many people it infects.
Yep, that's it. It's a real experience of what happens with it. in the same setting between the different variants, what does it mean?
You got anything?
The first thing I found.
Come on, Jamie. Pull that shit up. University, Jamie. What the fuck, dog? We're getting fucked over here. We're getting ass fucked over here, Jamie. What the fuck? Homie, give me something good. God damn it. Give me something. Anything.
It was blocked, but it said before it blocked, it said that 40% of the population in Israel is unvaccinated.
Yep.
But
40%?
Yep.
again, it's
Why did I see, like, I
me see if
read
I
that
can
it was
find it again.
80% that were vaccinated. Is that true?
No, that's right.
40%?
That's exactly what. That's exactly, and that's the group that really had
so I
contributed.
click on this. It's going to disappear real quick. See, it said it. But
Yeah. Sorry, you have the right stuff
I'll
there.
try to
though.
find it.
That is the right piece.
see.
Yeah.
That's the right piece, but it doesn't make Joe look good. I don't know why he thinks like this is the main problem I always have with skeptics, right? I talk about this all the fucking time. Skeptics are often incredibly critical of mainstream sources, which is fine. Like that's understandable, especially if you have like recognized the personal bias that a mainstream source might have. Like, I don't know, delivering State Department propaganda. Like the American media has historically done this, so it's reasonable to be skeptical of it. But that doesn't mean you're gonna all out just cast it aside, okay? As I don't, and you know this. This is like a part of my media literacy that I explain regularly, right? But also, the more important part about it is that these motherfuckers are never skeptical of like independent sources that just confirm their biases. It's always so funny when they turn around and they're just like, I don't trust mainstream media, but this fucking Facebook post, well, that's got the real shit. That's got the goods. I will never double question. I will never second guess a Facebook post that I saw.
Yeah.
I can get it on the archive thing.
So,
But anyway, I think the
it's-
message.
So that
I
means
think the
Israel's
message.
only got 60% of their population vaccinated?
Yeah.
I thought it was way higher than that.
No. So I think the message, though.
Lags behind on COVID. 40% of Israelis have no protection against COVID.
Yep.
But isn't that
Oh, it's the Omicron variant. It says.
Yeah.
right? But how does that work then? I mean,
Right.
is that because Omicron evades the protection of the original vaccine?
It does, and it also evades the
So
protection of previous infection.
But is that like, put that article up again? The way they're phrasing that, is that a manipulation of language? Because if it's saying 40% of Israelis have no protection against COVID Omicron variant, but are they vaccinated from the original variant? Because if they're saying that they don't have any protection, are they saying that because they don't have protection because they don't have antibodies for it? Or are they saying they haven't been vaccinated?
I can't tell you what that headline is saying there.
It's weird though, right?
Yeah,
the way
yeah,
they're
yeah.
phrasing it?
All I'm telling you is that if you look at the proportion that had no vaccine, those that had full vaccination but no booster, that's what they were trying to compare.
So this is what they're saying. So look, it says 1 million refused the booster.
Yep.
While just 110,000 out of 1.2 million young kids got the vaccine. That's a lot of language there.
Yeah.
I recently found something when I was looking that said that this is back in the end of the summer that enough doses had been administered in Israel to get 99.3% of the population vaccinated.
Yeah.
That's enough but it doesn't mean that they were.
No,
Well, see, the thing-
it's also because they also counted a dose to person, and if you get 2 and 3 doses, you take it away from somebody else. So
Well,
merely having 100 million doses and 100 million people doesn't mean you have 100 million people vaccinated.
Well, they also don't count you being vaccinated if you're not boosted.
Well, they do, but they don't count it as fully vaccinated.
Right.
Yeah,
They have a green card situation or
Yeah,
whatever what's their term that they use?
I don't know what it is.
So with them, you must be boosted to be termed fully vaccinated, correct?
Right.
So
When looking, this is what pops up for what percentage is vaccinated. But
it's enough to have vaccinated 99% of the country's population, but it doesn't mean that they did it.
Exactly.
Okay. So you said that Omicron, so part of the reason why that article was phrased that way is because Omicron evades the protection of the vaccine.
It does evade protection of vaccine, and it evades the protection from previous infection at a level that the other variants hasn't done.
If that's the case, then what is the benefit of getting vaccinated now?
Oh, there's still very substantial protection, but
I feel like Michael Osterholm, I don't know, maybe it's because like I feel like what's his face has like really destroyed his credibility kind of or had to be like the fucking had to basically be like the person who is the fall guy almost, Fauci. That I feel like Michael Osterholm is doing a better job at communicating this stuff than Fauci is. Joe's like your chatters on Russia, never listening to what is being said, just looking for a gotcha moment. Yeah.
What
But
I
if
mean
you
by
if it's evading the protection of the vaccine, what is the protection it gives you?
Well, again, let me point out, these are numbers I said before. If you just look in this country for the issue of, this is during Omicron, if you look at deaths, again, the point I made earlier, if you're unvaccinated, your rate is about 9.74 per 100,000 population, 9.74. If you're fully vaccinated, it's 0.71. But if you're fully vaccinated with a booster, it's 0.01 per 100,000.
But how is that possible if it evades protection of the vaccine? If you said 100% of all the cases, that nearly 100%, are now Omicron,
Yep.
but Omicron evades the protection of the vaccine.
But not for everyone. It reduces it. So what we're talking about...
It reduces the protection of the vaccine?
Yeah. So, for example, with the booster, you can boost it back up. If you look at, for example, fully vaccinated, 2 doses, or you look at it versus 2 doses plus what some would call the booster, you had 8 times as much protection with full vaccine and that booster than you did just full vaccine.
From Omicron?
Yep.
So then how is it not protecting you from the then how is it evading the vaccine?
Well, the evasion is not complete. It's limited it. So if you take something from 95%...
What do you think is going on?
Did we not have the basics? Like, did Joe Rogan just like lose the conversation about basics, where risk reduction, harm reduction, lowering like and efficacy rates lowering as time passes because the vaccine efficacy is diminished over time, especially with new variants coming out that are way more infectious. For example, I don't get the fucking. I don't get the weird shit that he has to constantly people have to constantly contend with whenever they're having a conversation with him about vaccines, even if it's like a straight up